Hello, hello, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday. Let's jump start. Not jump start. Let's kick start the week in a high note. I am so blessed and honored to be here with these action takers, ready to get and make this week better than the previous week. And just looking forward for everything we are going to accomplish this week. So here I am. My name is Sandro. I have some new faces here this morning with us, and this is very exciting. I have just finished another book, and I've been in this role of reading one book after another book after another book, like reading different books constantly and just feeding my mind, like having a positive attitude to see things with a positive outcome. And I read this book a few times, but this book is called Atomic Habits. So I bought the physical copy of the book, and then I also there's a fantastic app that I found, it's called Headway, and the Headway app gives the key points of books. So it's interesting. And again, I read a lot, and I try to read an average of at least one or two books per week. And I realized that it's not about the number of books that you read, but it's about reading, capturing the message, and practicing. Again, I read Atomic Habits, highly recommended. And then through the book, James Clear, which is the author, he talked about another book that is called One Thing. The One Thing book was also suggested and recommended to me by Galit, who is in the call. Good morning, Galit. Welcome to the Power Monday. Oh my goodness, I had the movement makers and thank you for coming. Yes, I see
Good
there
morning.
Julie and Lucia. Oh, Lucia. I have Shai, Galit, Kimberly's in the house. Ragers, investors in the house. Julie's in the house. I have the Nuja in the house. This is awesome. This warms my heart. But let's go. Let's go. So I'm talking about the book. He talks about one thing. This book was written by Gary Keller. And Gary Keller, if I'm not mistaken, he is one of the founders of Keller Williams. And he talks about in a few things here that for me like jumped on my reading. And I want to share a few things with you guys. So let me just go back here to the beginning of the book. And then you're gonna get this one going as the key points. The insights, okay, and I made some notes here. Number one, excellent results depend on how narrow your focus is. And talking about focus, I'm the type of person that I'm sitting here and then somebody knocks. It's like, oh my goodness, there's a squirrel there. And then, oh, but now I see an eagle flying here. And my attention span goes all over the place. And then so, well, funny thing that often I hear people talking about women, for example, saying that women can multitask more than men. It's like, well, as I'm doing some research, it's proven scientifically that there's no such thing. You can do different activities at once, but if you get the one thing, put your focus on, and then finish that thing before moving to the next and the next, unless you get the thing, you start doing it, delegate, takes out of your hands. And by the way, talking about delegation, another amazing book that I want to recommend is this called 10X, 10X Your Results, written by Dr. Benjamin Hardy. And he talks about here, how can you 10X your results using delegation, leverage, collaboration. And as a matter of fact, he mentions on the book that 10X is easier than 2X. We can talk about this another time, but I want to focus here on the one thing book because success does not happen all of a sudden. It's not magic. Prioritize one thing and stay focused. An overload of tasks and goals will hinder your progress. It's not about setting your life on fire. is about doing a few things really, really well. Now, this week, I came across a couple that I work with them as their coach, and I'm so privileged to have them as their coach. And they are like early 20s. I mean, I would say mid 20s. He's 25, she's 24, and they want to invest in real estate. And they started pursuing bigger projects. We want to go after the big, go bigger, go bigger. And I'm like, guys, I am 47. So you guys have more than 20 years ahead of me. I wish I was having this conversation with somebody when I was your age. And then, yes, we are in a predicament right now, especially because after COVID, where we saw people coming into real estate and buying real estate. Hey guys, come in, and in 2 years, you're gonna get all your money back, plus, 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 and now you're a multimillionaire. You can quit your job and just go and try and go to the Tahiti and drink margaritas. And then I saw in my own journey that's like, oh, let's go bigger, go bigger. I'm gonna be a multimillionaire in 1 year. Well, I didn't know that building that multi-million dollars portfolio had like a minus, a sign of minus before the zeros. So yes, there's a lot of zeros, but there's a minus before, right? Because of the debt that I acquired. But that's not the point. The point is that we very often see individuals looking for the shortcut, ignoring the power of time. I was challenged this week before that call with that young couple to look into my portfolio. It's like when I moved to Canada in 2010, moving from Brazil to Canada, a few months later, I bought a condo. So I moved in 2010, so that was 14 years ago. And I sold that condo. So the two first properties that I bought, two condos, I bought them and I sold them. And if I had kept both properties, one of them would be paid off by now and already doubled in value. And then the person that I was talking to challenged me to use that property as an exercise and just consider a 20-year span. Sandra, look, just think about 20 years. And I was doing the numbers. It's like, oh my goodness. I mean, I sold the properties because I repositioned the portfolio and I got myself into other assets. But then here I was going all over the place and buying properties like literally everywhere. New Brunswick and Saskatchewan and Ontario and Ohio and Florida and São Paulo in Brazil. Like, we're crazy. No strategy other than I'm gonna do big and go bigger and bigger and bigger. And then the book reminded me that the secret of achievement is not working more hours, but working more effectively during the ones we already have. How come multimillionaires running multi-million dollar companies, they can do so many things using the same amount of hours that we do have? Is having the focus, is having a collaboration. So now I have people that are collaborating with you. Now I have people that are leveraging their time and vice versa. But then the big question comes, yes, but why not go as fast as I can? Oh, that's okay, I did, and it's doable. But then I look to some other individuals that are just, that analogy of the turtle and the rabbit, which the turtle is there just moving, taking the rhythm, and the little rabbit like jumping around and going and coming, like, and then we see the time will come, and that's the one asset we have no control of. Interesting perspective in life, right? Doing the one thing at a time. Talking to my coach last week, and I have a business coach now that is like blowing my mind. And he asked me this question. So what do you want to accomplish? Why are you so concerned about the time? It's like, no, because I went in a seminar and they opened my eyes. And in the seminar, they said, well, time is going fast. So you got to take action now and take massive action. Otherwise, you're going to miss the boat. And he said, well, think about this, Sandro. In 100 years from today, the house you live in is not going to be yours. The car you drive is not going to even exist. It's like, yes, but no, there's no but. And then he gave me this challenge. So yesterday I was speaking at an engagement. It was interesting because I was talking to this group of people. It's like probably 220 people in the audience. And the same question he asked me, I asked yesterday in the audience. And I'm going to ask you guys. So we have here in this call today, let's see how many of us are here. 11 people. Okay. So you don't need to put the camera, you can just raise your hands. But who in this call remember or know the name of your father? Please raise your hand. Okay, so I see all the hands. Okay, great. Thank you. So everybody remembers the name of the father. Now, next question. Who remembers the name of your grandfather? Please raise your hands. Okay, so we all remember the name of our grandfathers. And then, who remember the name of our great-grandfather? Raise your hands. Okay, so everybody remembers the name of the great-grandfather. Now, who remembers the name of the great-grandfather? Please, raise your hands. And then we start seeing less and less and less hands. So when he's challenged me with that, and crazy thing happened because he gave me this challenge, and my immediate response, right after the call, was calling my father. Like I immediately called my dad. It's like, Dad, I was challenged, and I don't want to go through that challenge again without knowing the answer. Because the guy was asking me if I remember the name of your grandfather and your father's grandfather. So, Dad, what is the name of your grandfather? My dad had just turned 77. And he said, I don't remember. Like, oh, wow. So I'm talking about 4 generations. And most of us, 90% of us, we don't remember or don't know. Like, I don't even know. It's not that I don't remember. I don't know. I never asked the question before to my parents. I don't know the name of my so my father, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, my great-great-father, the one on the top of the 4th generation tree. And that revelation brought me some perspectives that I want to invest my time, my energy, my focus to things that will last for eternity. What I mean by that? What is the legacy we are engaging ourselves? What is the legacy we are leaving behind? Because there was such a moment that I have 2 boys. One is 9, the other one is 5. And it's basically, if I follow the same logic that my father do not remember the name of his grandfather, like that's so close. Like his grandfather, he doesn't remember the name. It's like my kids talking to their kids and their kids and not remembering my name. Say, okay, I need to do something about. And it's not about having, because a few individuals will stamp their names in history. But then it's like, what is the one thing that I can do that will have an impact, an immediate impact in the people around me? Immediate, like we're talking about circles. So the first circle, we have the X. X is everybody very close to you, know us. You know when you come to the seminars and it come chest up and so confident, and the people that really know, it's like, I know you, son. I know you. Like this is the X people that I'm talking about. But then we have another group of people that I call the Y circle. So right after the X circle, we have another circle outside that's the X. So the Y. The Y are people that know us. And then we have the X, Y, Z circle. It's the bigger circle. So the small circle, I'm doing the way around, guys. Sorry. So the small circle is the Z, the X, Y, Z. The Z is the big pool, where those are the people that know people that know people that know us, right? Why is this important? Because many times we hold ourselves back in sharing our message. And despite of what we've been through, despite of our challenges, despite of the stuff that are going through in our lives, we all of us, we have a history, like we have something that we are doing that is positive. But and I see myself in that predicament. There are times it's like I'm going to record this video and I'm going to talk about this, and then I get a phone call with somebody that I'm going through a challenge. Like, oh, I can't post this video because this person will see, and this person say, "Oh, there we go. Here is the Mr. Big Mouth, and why not?" But then thinking about this whole thing that happened with people not even remembering my name in 4 generations, or doing the one thing that will actually bring results, I had that epiphany. I gotta put my message out. And the reason why I have to put my message out is because there are individuals out there that they know this stuff. Like they don't know the baggage. All the baggage that people judge us, they don't know. We can have such a big impact in their lives that if we change the life of one person, we don't know if that one person will be the next prime minister, like will be the next Nobel Prize. Like we have no idea. And I see the diversity in the room. We have like doctors, and we have scientists, and we have people from the IT industry. We have such a wealth of knowledge in this room. What is the one thing, what is the one message that you know that you can share with somebody that will make an impact in their lives? Like, I love the power of social media for so many reasons. I was this morning, before our call, I was in a different call. And again, I'm doing some different programs. And this program, the guy was talking about, so we start every single day at 5 a.m. And 5 years ago, this guy was talking to an audience of 3. He did, during the year, 5 years ago, he got every single Saturday in the year. So 52, like I don't remember the math exactly, but let's call 52 Saturdays. And every single Saturday, he was doing a presentation because his goal was to become a very successful public speaker, motivational speaker. And then in the audience was his wife and his 2 kids. He said the first half, so the first 25 was the audience of 3. It's like, you know what? I'm just going to be consistent, and I'm going to keep doing. If it's only my wife and my 2 kids that comes, I'm going to keep doing. But then he kept doing, and then getting the confidence. He would record himself, watch himself afterwards, correct his posture, his smile, the way that he looked at camera, the way that he dressed himself, and he kept doing. Well, 5 years later, in the call this morning, we had 130,000 people in the call. It's like, guys, I'm not saying this just, oh, look how many people are watching. And I mean, I'm hitting Canada, people from Portugal, from the US, Switzerland, like all over Europe. This guy's in Brazil. He was saying, I'm just here to say, if you get the one thing that you're passionate about, that you know will change your life, like use the one thing and just think on the compound effect. Do it consistently, and that consistency will pay off. Get away of the FOMO. Like, and guys, I am speaking here, and I'm guilty by association because fear of missing out is a thing for me. Like, I don't want to miss anything. Sometimes I even think, why do I have to sleep so much? I'm missing out live and doing live and all of that. But I'm like, oh my goodness. I started this journey not that long ago, and I'm doing it. And despite of expecting people to see the growth, which that was my motivation a few months ago, and I was frustrated because the people that I wanted to recognize my growth, they didn't really recognize in my perspective. But then I had to shift my paradigm and my mindset to who am I becoming? And then I think about the week. Many of us will have a fantastic week, like a smooth sailing. Some of us will face the week as you are facing the storm. And it's not about not having the storm or have a smooth sailing, but how we react to the challenges that are coming. And then I want to challenge you, as I am being challenged, to do one thing this week. Choose one, no matter what it is the thing. I'm going to wake up every single day, as I'm using as an example. In the first 50 minutes, I'm going to stand in front of mirror and I'm going to say for 50 minutes words of affirmation, like whatever it is. Or I'm going to record one small video on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever it is, for 5 minutes every day. And then we're going to do the habit stacking. Get one thing and do it until it becomes second nature. And then you keep doing. Then you go to the next one. Then you go to the next one. As you're stacking, you're getting tiny changes that will compound. And over time, we are all becoming this powerhouse that even people on these small groups like, oh my goodness, you're doing something different. Like, what is that? Well, like, what is the secret here? And it's because you are taking life to do life and control it with our own hands, right? And I'm so excited about this week because, again, I have massive challenges before me, like so many that I have to pick and choose. And then I made a list and I have a whiteboard here. And the whiteboard, I decided to follow the instructions of this One Thing book. Because, again, the other highlight that I love here is that your life must have a purpose if you want to be successful. What success means? So very quickly, if you can say here on the chat, what does success means to you? If you can, let's do that. The secret of achievement, in his perspective, the journey of that success, the purpose, in his opinion, will begin when we are willing to go the extra mile to find the one thing. Some of us, we deal with clients. And just think about this. Okay, I called all the people that I had to call today. That's it. Do one more call, just one more. Oh, but Sandra already called 200 people. Call 201. Just one more call. Oh, I had to do 30 minutes exercise. That's 31. One more minute. Oh, I just my underwriting. I already looked to 5 properties. Look one more. No matter what it is, I want to challenge us, because I'm challenging myself as well. Do the one thing, one more. And then we'll see what can happen. Now, let me see here the chat. Oh my goodness, guys, so many comments. Whoa, one at a time. Come on, help me out here. So in your opinion, can you guys see the chat? Yes, okay. So you guys can see the chat. And if you can write to me here, what success means to you. Give you a few seconds to think about the question. Okay, I'm going to start. Can I put you on the spot? Just nod. The first one I have Kimberly. Okay. And freedom and resources, lifestyle freedom. Now I want to put on the spot. So Kimberly, can I start with you? So when you say lifestyle freedom, what do you mean by that?
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Lifestyle freedom means, for me, being free to wake up and do what fulfills me, and doing it by choice and not by obligation. And so being able to design my own life based on, what I want to accomplish and what I want to do. So when I say that, I actually challenge myself still to define more what is the lifestyle I want, and I'm leaving myself room to expand that vision as time goes, because I'm sure that's going to change with time. But I actually still challenge myself regularly. So, okay, well, what do I mean by that? So what is the lifestyle that you want? What is the purpose that you want? And I don't have the clear answer yet, but it's a work in progress. But that's what I mean by that.
Oh, I love that. And thank you so much for sharing. I was challenged with that question as well. And then the gentleman that was speaking, and he spoke before me on the event this weekend, he gave me a different perspective in terms of freedom, because I am pursuing freedom. Like, I want freedom of time. And he said, Sandro, how about you start thinking other than I want to do the things that I want, like the lifestyle that I want. It's like, but how about you decide that freedom is to have the right, I mean, we have the right, but is to say no to the things you don't want to do. Like, whoa, what do you mean? It's like, well, right now, do you have to wake up a certain time and you'd like to sleep a little more? Well, yes, but I just can't do that. Okay, there are things in your current business that you have to do just because you have to do. It's like, well, yes, if I don't do it, I mean, I'm short-staffed, I'm hiring, but it's hard to find qualified people. It's like, oh, so what if you then start designing things that you're doing and do the math backwards? What do I need to be in a position to say no to this? I'm going to do it, but I want to say no. I'm not going to do this. Why? I don't want to. It's like, this is an interesting perspective about freedom, because I can do if I want, but if I don't, I'm just going to say no, and I have the freedom, I have the resources, I have the tools to say no and be okay with it. Like, Now, so crazy is this, like, so crazy is this. If we are willing to say no to certain things, right? And we talk about lifestyle, and we talk about the purpose, and we're talking about do what I want and whenever I want, and etc., and happiness. And thank you guys for participating, and resources. Many individuals, they would kill to have some of the resources that we do have here in Canada, right? And then I was putting this in perspective, and coming from Brazil and coming from a reality where life wasn't easy, it was like hard. And I look back, it's like, okay, so what was not achievable to me? And I was like, oh my goodness, that's the ceiling. Right now, I'm with my new challenges. It's like, oh, that was easy. So now, of course, I'm pushing myself for new challenges. And I refuse to be compliant and be comfortable. I want to get comfortable with the idea of being uncomfortable all the time. Like, drive my wife like crazy. Because for her, no, don't go there, Sandra. I like the stability, no, exactly. Oh, we're in a roller coaster, honey. Like, this is how I am doing my life. Because as I push myself constantly, I am designing that. So I'm going to start. So, Kimberly, I want to challenge you to do one thing that is uncomfortable. But if you know that if you do it, will be uncomfortable and it's scary, but that can make significant change in how you do life. What the one thing would be?
Not sure. I did start something that was uncomfortable to me back on January 1st. And I keep doing it. So right now I'm just proud that I keep doing this new thing that is now becoming a habit. And it's the one of waking up earlier to establish like a morning ritual before I start my day. And so that's based on the book, The Morning Miracle.
Yes.
And yeah, so I actually took the challenge. Yeah, I took the challenge, and so I pushed my alarm earlier by 30 minutes. Maybe eventually I'll do the other 30 minutes and break the 5 a.m. line that I'm not able to break yet. But I have able to introduce that morning ritual that is based on meditation and affirmation, visualization, reading, journaling, and exercising. And so all that combined takes me roughly an hour every morning. And I'm proud to say I have not skipped one morning since January 1st, regardless, through trips, through night shifts, I have not missed one. So that is my one uncomfortable thing that I started, and it is becoming more comfortable now. So I don't know, I'm ready to hear a new challenge, but that's my most recent challenge.
Oh my goodness. How amazing is this? Thank you for sharing. Now, how amazing is this? Now, the next challenge that I have for you is this. Share that on your social media. Why I am challenged this way? So I had this crazy goal 2 years ago to read 100 books. So I decided to say to my social media, hey guys, I'm going to read 100 books this year, and every book that I finish, I'm going to post here. Now, I read, that was 2 years ago, and then last year I read 70 books. This year alone, we are in March 1st and already read 16 books this year, right? Like, but then I had to change because when I was the 100 books goal, some books I was reading just to not miss the goal without even, no, I'm just going to read. Now I changed. I'm reading a lot of books, but I'm reading books that are about certain themes. So they sort of repeat itself, but it helps me to get the concept. But the one thing that was amazing is that as I started posting the books, I started getting a lot of messages from other people that said, oh, Sandro, by seeing your consistency, I challenged myself to do the same, and not as crazy as 100 books, but I'm back reading books and discovering books that I didn't even think exist, and I'm seeing some changes. So as you're going through this challenge, and you start with half an hour, challenge people to do 15 minutes, doing blocks of 15 minutes. Start 15 minutes early, and then 15, like doing these blocks. Like, as we transform our lives and we share that, it's unbelievable how we see other people also being transformed and changed. So think about that. And I saw Lisa. So Lisa's in the call. And Lisa, it's interesting that we connect here and there. We talk in some events and etc. But I am like watching her journey, and oh my goodness, the transformation that I am uh, experiencing in my own life. For example, when it comes to weight, guys, 6 months ago I was 45 pounds heavier, and a few individuals that weren't really exercising, or they were exercising but not being vocal and just sharing their journey and they struggle and the challenge of, today I don't feel, but I'm going to do it because I have to do it until it becomes a habit. It's like, oh my goodness, I can do this. And again, sometimes my wife should even try to feed me more than I wanted. Just no, I don't want to feel that I'm stronger than my husband. And my wife, she's into body, what do you call it? Heavy lifting and fitness, and why not? So then losing weight, it's like, Janet, but I'm going back to the weight I had when we met. No, my life changes, and it says like, no, I'm not doing. So by watching Lisa, by watching Julie, by like so many people with so different life experiences, and I'm just by seeing what they're doing inspired me, right? And I know, Kimberly, you have such a great story. Like, you have a very stressful career. And of course, people, they tend to put us in a pedestal. And then on the pedestal, it's like, oh, but you do this or you do that. Yes, but guys, this is the challenge. This is the struggle. Galit is another one, like blows my mind. That I challenged her a few months ago regarding social media. And right now, like Galit, she's kicking my butt because I see like every single freaking day, and I'm like, oh, she's doing it. And I go, and this is a week, like this is a challenge for me. I come some weeks consistent, 2 3 videos and putting content out there and sharing, and then something happened, I just stop. And like, and Galit's like, hey Sandro, you said it, you're not doing it. It's like, thank you for the kick on the butt. Yes, I'm gonna go back and doing it, right? Like, so going through these motions, and we realize life is hard, but it doesn't have to be that way. Life is better together. Even though we have people here on the West Coast, and I get my hat off for the people on the call from the West Coast and people here from the East Coast, and we are here doing it. Like, just by having you guys here. This call is more for me than for anybody else, right? Because I wake up, and of course, I love public speaking. Like, it blows my mind when I've learned, it blew my mind when I've learned that the #1 fear of people in North America is the fear of public speaking. Because for me, that's like, give me the mic, right? So yesterday I was like energized and empowered. I gave so much of me in that. So I spoke for 2 blocks of 45 minutes, the first block, and then another 45 minutes, the second block. So when I got home, I had to go have a nap because I was exhausted. Like I gave it all. So that fuel. So I came already this morning after my first call, that was 5 a.m. for me here. I'm like, okay, let's go and let's do that. But there's days that I wake up and I literally do this. Come on, let's go. Today's gonna be amazing. Oh, this talent is nothing. When I think about the perspective of other people that are already being where I am and they did better, and that's how they and I like telling myself words of affirmation are so important, and yet so many days I can't say a thing. I don't have anything nice to say to myself. Like, and this is hard, right? Because life is happening, and then taking risks, and again, having a family setting where stability, conformity, and repetition is the norm. And then there's this crazy dude that's like, woo, and like highs and lows. And I'm either so high or like I'm low. I don't have the consistency. I'm like, I'm all in or nothing kind of person, right? And that's like for the emotional health. People are like, oh, you got to be careful with your emotional health. Okay, great. So then let's get a group of people together every Monday morning, and then we empower each other, and boom, let's go, right? Like that's so important to me, and I'm so grateful for you guys having here. So many faces. I want to ask, so Lucia, thank you so much for coming and joining us. I want to ask you, what success means to you? Question number 1. And question number 2, what is the one thing that you know for a fact that is uncomfortable for you, but you are doing, and sharing that can also change other people's lives?
That is very hard for me to share because I consider myself a procrastinator. And coming to you today, this morning, I realized the things that I haven't achieved just because I'm not committed to my goal. Like, see that book, Kimberly?
Yeah, there we go.
But I read it a few different parts. Have I done it? Uh-uh. And that's my problem. And my challenge in my business is to go public, to do go lives, to share things. And I'm afraid.
Okay, so what are you afraid of? What is
I'm
the fear?
afraid of failing to people. I don't know.
Okay.
I think.
And
Yeah.
thank you for the courage of sharing that. Okay. So I have some news to you. I'm going to do one thing here. And I want to, so can you please share one thing about your business that you love?
Uh, I love the business because I know it's a one kind of business that it is I've seen helping and changing people's lives. And one thing that I like is to help people. And one thing that I don't do is going out publicly because I do help people, but publicly to share that. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yes. And I have some news to you. Okay. This call, we are streaming live on YouTube. So you just did your first live. Okay. So now that's not an excuse anymore. Now, if you say I'm not going to do it, it's an excuse because you just went live on YouTube. Okay, you're public now to us. Yes, I agree with that. Thank you. Yes. So, like one thing that I always ask people to do, try this. So again, before saying this, going back on time, I had a band, and like for many of us, it's so hard, the idea of singing, hearing our voice. Oh, it sounds so weird until you listen enough that you get used to it. Like Kimberly,
I just wanted to say something regarding the Miracle Morning and the how to get it rolling, because I see that she has the book and it's just like, okay, well, I keep reading it, but I haven't put it in action. And so something I told myself is just start, just do something. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And we're thinking, oh, but I don't have my affirmations all written down and it's not ready to go. And one day I'll do it. No, just start. Just do it. Just it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be as they say in the book. You don't have to do all six, but just do something and then build from that. And then the next day, and then, oh well, I'm gonna write this affirmation and tomorrow I'm gonna use this one. And just start. That is my advice, is finish the call and take a few minutes and do a first step. And tomorrow morning, just build off that and do a bit more and a bit more, and then the power of compounding. And so that is my thought on the difficulty of starting something new. Is just start.
Yes, like,
I also have one advice about the
come
Miracle
on,
Morning.
Galit, come on.
So I read the Miracle Morning, and it was really hard to start, especially the running thing. Like, I don't run, especially in the winter, surely not. But it was a very hard challenge for me to start. But then I read the 5 a.m. morning, the 5 a.m. club, and that actually helped me much more to do the first step. And I've been doing that for almost 2 years now.
Woo! Come on now, Galit.
Yeah. So if you need an easy bump, I think to add the 5 a.m. club will help.
Yes, and Danusha, I want to hear from you, but one thing that I want to say, Lucia, what is the easiest way to eat an elephant?
Piece by piece.
Piece by piece. So just like, okay, this is an elephant. Like, I agree. Get one bite. Okay, I got one bite. And then another bite. But don't break it down, right? Other than think, oh my goodness, I have to do this big live. No, I'm gonna go and record to myself. You have an amazing week. Ciao. Oh, I did it. You have an amazing week and an amazing day. Good job, right? And then as you do it, the more you do it, I mean, Galit, she can speak on that. It's like, Galit, you gotta go and invest in your social media. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. But then I was like, that, do it, do it, do it. Okay, stop it. I will do it. And now she's killing it, right? Because the more you expose yourself and you do the uncomfortable thing and share, guys, this is difficult because it's not comfortable to me, but I need some love. And then you start, people's like, yes, you can do this. This is amazing. Those words of affirmation, they also help. Danusha?
Good morning, everybody. I love you all. So all of the things that everybody said, plus, in addition, I've been doing the 5 a.m. club before it became a phenomenon, since like my kids are 23 and 26 now. I did it when they were babies because it's just like the power hour as we are here. Lucia, do it dirty, do it messy, and do it for yourself. Yes, it's going to be attached to the people that are going to see it and hear it afterwards. That's the other end output end goal. But people who know me, that I've said it many times, I ended up having a huge following because they were actually hooked on my blooper or my mistake of the day. And I actually didn't care because, there's one of the components of learning by doing. So do it anyway, do it for yourself. And every time you do it, it's going to be that little bit better and that little bit better and that little bit better. And you want to watch because you're interested in what I'm saying? Fine, you want to watch because you think it's funny because I made a mistake? I really don't care. Just keep doing it, and your confidence will get better and higher, and your whatever is in your head, your inside mistakes, will not even be a thing anymore. It'll just be you. And the genuine concept of who you are will be out there, and the people who are supposed to be in your circle will be drawn to you, your genuine own self. Sometimes when people practice too much, they become a version that's not their core self. They become the the show razzmatazz version of themselves, but in the long run, it's not their own genuine self. And then in the long run, you will also have conflict because you're trying to please others instead of pleasing yourself. So just do it the way you are, do it messy, do it dirty, and that's the best way.
Making mistakes and showing that to people, it shows them that we are real.
You're
Yes,
genuine
yes,
and you're
yes.
relatable.
Yeah.
And you know, and purpose
Thank
and
you.
curiosity are pivotal in achieving positive results. So, how many times have you wondered how exactly you should achieve something? Try to recall that situation where your goal and your destination, they are so far, you didn't have an answer, but you got there. And to find great answers, and this goes for all of us, we must ask big and specific questions. So instead of asking, oh, how do I go live? Or how do I position myself about my business? Include a challenge and a headline at your questions like, how do I achieve this, and sign 3 new people in 4 months? Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I want to talk to investors. How do I raise capital? This is a question that I hear often. Well, I put a challenge to myself. I'm going to talk to at least 2 people this week for this specific project. I am running a project with a great guy from Calgary that now is in Edmonton. I joined his team to raise capital for his 70-unit apartment building that has been converted to 100 unit anyways. And we decided to do a retreat. And then I did 3 retreats that are a success. Success was amazing. And then he raised the bar by like 20 times the bar that he raised. And my first reaction was like, what? It's like, Sandro, to attract these people that will invest 20 times what people invest in the first one will be easier than the first one. What? But you got to be consistent and put targets, specific. So then I'm asking myself, how do I talk to 2 new potential people for this retreat per week? And then, yes, connecting through LinkedIn, going to webinars, going to meetups. There are things that for me, leaving my house in the evening to go to a meetup, that's torture. But I got to do it. I have to do it. Okay, I'm going to go. Change. Oh, I'm changing already. Well, just jump on the car and go. Like things like that, because then I can measure. And as I measure, then I start trying. You got to test. You try, test. Oh, it didn't work this way. Oh, worked this way. And then keep moving. But again, more important than achieving the goal is the journey, because we are transformed. Is the journey that will transform us, right? And this is such a powerful discovery that we go. Another thing here, your life experience is determined by how you deal with the events that happens to you. Happiness isn't ready-made. You can find on the way to your one thing. Positive emotions, engagement, achievement, relationships, and meaning, which I call PR. So peer, right? Peer, P-E-A-R, P-E-A-R. Positive emotions, engagement, achievement, relationships. Vanessa, talk to me.
There we go. Hi.
The one thing, that was the one thing for you this week.
Taking action is something that I've been well, there's something that I've been working on related to Airbnb, and I've been waiting to take action because there is a boot camp in Edmonton related to Airbnb, and I've been waiting for that in order to proceed with what I'm thinking. So I've been waiting for that. It's next weekend, but I think I'm not gonna wait for it, and I'm just gonna go with what my gut says, and yeah, I'm gonna move on.
Can I challenge you?
Yeah.
Because I'm going live, I have to be very careful with my words because people get offended very easily and I don't want to offend anybody. A disclaimer, I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm just giving my opinion. So that's my opinion. Okay, that being said, you know what the boot camp will do to you? Nothing. Other than going there and having a good time and seeing people and hearing the same speech all over and over again. It's not about the boot camp, right? Like, it's about doing the one thing. Get one thing. Okay, I have to do all these things about Airbnb. Like, guys, I'm telling you, look, I have this pile of documents. I don't know if you can see. I have a pile of documents that is sitting on my desk for weeks. And I look at it, it's like, oh my goodness, yeah, I have to deal with it. And I don't do it, right? So then I made a decision this morning. Well, I'm not going to do it because I hate doing this. I'm going to delegate. So then the procrastination, because for me, procrastination is nothing more than not doing the things that I don't like. Because things that I actually like doing it, I don't procrastinate. It's just going to go and do it. But procrastination, I see this way. No, I have to do this, but I don't like, so I'm not going to do it. And then go this. Like, get one thing about your Airbnb business. One thing. If there is one connection with somebody that's already doing something that you're not, like, no matter what it is, do one thing. So then when you come to the bootcamp, you don't come as an student. I mean, we are all students and always learning, but you come in a position to give value. Like, guys, I did this one thing that changed my business. I was 4 months ago, I went to California to an event, and this event was like for public speakers and teachers and people that are coaching, and I have my coaching business, all of that. And I met those two young girls, like 21 and 27, two sisters. They made last year $500,000 US through their Airbnb business. How they do, like this, how they do. They go to Airbnb listings, they go to the last page, and then they start connecting with people, like consistently. They spend 1 hour every day, go to the last of this Airbnb. Hey guys, I have an Airbnb business, and this is what I'm gonna do. So they tried. We're gonna get a property that is like last page, optimize, do some marketing, branding, put on top of a search to change the results. And then if I give you the results, I'm gonna pay the minimum you need. So how much you want this property to give you cash flow? I don't know. I want $1,000 cash flow every week. Okay, so I'm gonna do the arbitrage, and then everything else is mine. If I make money. If I don't, you don't lose anything. And then people started saying yes, and then they made $500,000 last year just by doing this. So then the smart ass here comes. But how about the ROI? And how about looking to the internal rate of return versus the cash on cash? And all these terminologies. And they look at me like, what? Well, what is that? I'm like, you don't know that? No, I have no idea what you're talking about. No, but how about like all this knowledge? I was like vomiting the knowledge. And then I had this like, they do one thing and the one thing only. And now people are paying them because that one thing they became so good at that, of course, they are there to learn other things. But I'm like, what? And that's the same. Do one thing. Like Lucia, do one thing. Kimberly's saying, she just proved what you're saying. The one thing that is even not comfortable, she's doing it. And it became a habit, right? We are creatures of habits. And I am so grateful that you're having this opportunity to share these things. And just, I have Julie and Abigail and Marjorie on the call and Shai. Because you guys have your cameras off, I'm going to respect that and I don't want to call. But if you want to say something, we are almost done our 1 hour. If you have something else that you want to add. But again, Vanessa, this is my challenge for you this week. Don't wait the boot camp. Choose one thing, no matter what it is, and do it. And then come back in our group and say, guys, I did that one thing. Give me some love, right? And we are going to give you some love. So before we go, and I want to be mindful of your time, but Abigail, okay, I want to hear from you. I saw your beautiful face there. Come on, give us some love.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Yes, sorry.
What is the one thing you're doing this week?
I've been thinking about that, and the one thing is just, I think even coming on this call, I think I came the first week than last week. It was kind of, I'm not a morning person and I have a lot of big routine with young kids. So it's like the consistency is what I'm working on this week. So coming here was a good start for me.
I love it. Yes. Yeah, once a week is not hard. Like, okay, man, for some, but 1 week, once a week. And by the way, this Wednesday, I'll be hosting this call with Mark Franz. If you guys don't know Mark Franz, big time investor, like amazing mind. And he's talking about some strategies and how can you get $1 and multiply this dollar in many different other ways to invest in real estate that we didn't know before. And he's the one that was challenging me with the thing, like, try to think about business, like property investments with the span of 20 years. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm 47. My dad is 77. In 20 years, I'll be 67. So it's still 10 years ahead of my dad. And my dad is living well. 20 years, we already did. If I don't buy another single property in 20 years, what I already have, it looks fantastic. Right? And these perspectives that unfortunately right now we are not talking about because we want the reward as quick as possible. But if you guys want to learn these things, like I invite you to come or for Wednesday. We have the community, the Power Hour. I'm going to post the link on the Power Hour group and I'm going to tag everyone that want to attend. And the most productive life isn't the busiest one. There's always something to do at any given time. What matters is whether you're getting the most out of everything you do. So guys, thank you for joining me for this Power Hour. I hope you guys have an amazing week. Stay blessed by the best. I'm going to stay on for another few minutes. If you guys have some questions, if you guys want to talk about something specific, some challenge, and just brainstorm. But I know some of you guys got to go. And for somebody that can't stay, have an amazing week. Stay blessed by the best. And if you want to stay for a little more, I love the love. And I see everyone next Monday at 7 a.m. EST. Let's do this. Thank you, Marjorie. Thank you for coming.
Great call, Sandra. Way to go.
Thank you, Galit. Thank you. Thank you, Galit. Thank you, Danusha, Julie, Abigail, Lucia, Kimberly. Oh, my goodness. I'm so honored to have you guys here. Shai on the call as well. That means a lot to me. So let's crush it. Okay? Take care, guys.
Thank you. I was invited by Vanessa. And
thank you, Vanessa.
It really helped me. I think I'll come to your Power Hour.
Yes. So put in your calendar every Monday, 7 a.m. And then Wednesday evening, we're going to have the talk about the real estate. If you are interested in learning these other things, on Thursday, we'll be talking about the retreat that I'm putting together. And if you know somebody, this is one challenge I want to ask. If you know somebody that can come and say, hey, that's this crazy guy that in the morning looks like he's plugged in at 220 volts. Let's please invite him in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Tell me more about your retreat.
Yes. So